All right, guys, welcome. It is the CEO of One here teaching you about soft washing. Let's start with the basics. What is soft washing? Well, we are essentially applying a mixture of sodium hypochlorite onto whatever exterior surface of the house we are cleaning. Not all exterior surfaces can be cleaned with sodium hypochlorite and get a very good result. Also, sodium hypochlorite is the active ingredient in bleach. So you have to be careful not to get it on your clothes, your skin if possible. And you wouldn't want to get it on metal very often because bleach sodium hypochlorite is extremely salty and metals and salt do not mix. So keep that in mind. This is some lichen, which is the green algae growing on there. The black stuff is actually a bacteria called Gliocapsomagma or Gliocapsomagma. I've heard it pronounced many different ways, but that's basically what it is. You can see the sodium hypochlorite is killing the lichen, the green stuff, and turning it to a bright yellow and then eventually a white as it dies. This stuff, both of them, actually live off the things found in the concrete and the brick. So both of them eat the limestone and other things you would find in roofing tiles, brick, concrete, cement, all of the above. Now, this is a decent amount. Like, this is a pretty thick amount for what we have here so far. So the idea of what we're doing here is applying enough of this to kill the living material to make it release from the brick. While I could scrape this green stuff off, it would just come back because it would still be alive. And the black stuff that grows in driveways and bricks, and you can see here on this sidewalk down below the brick, is, like I said, it's a bacteria. It calcifies to the aggregate. So whatever it is, mortar mix, concrete, brick, you name it, it calcifies to that. And that's part of its defense mechanism in nature to keep it on the side of a rock or whatever so that it can do what it does. We got to remove it on this brick to get this off thoroughly. It did need to be pressure washed. I had to do it gently and carefully because the brick itself had some spots that were, well, going to be problematic anyways. You can see here clearly the green, like I said, is lichen. You can look that up, L-I-C-H-E-N. The black stuff is a bacteria called Gliocapsomagma. A lot of fun to say. Easy for me to say anyways. But yeah, this is what we want to do. We got to kill all this. We got to get it off. The bricks are deteriorated. I did not break any other bricks, or at least not any other pieces shattered off. I did it with a very careful pressure. So here I'm using a handheld sprayer to apply this 5% mixture. I like to use 5% on brick or concrete. We'll get into mixtures and batches and all that other stuff in another video later on where I teach you guys a little bit more about it. But the general idea of this is to get you introduced to soft washing. With soft washing and or pressure washing, you can make an awful lot of money at homeowners' houses. If you're not careful, you can do damage. The plants around here, around where I'm working, do not like salt, and this bleach mixture will kill them. Even at 5%, it's bad for the plants. So we dilute everything around where we're going to be spraying with water from the hose. All the plants get extra dilution. It had been raining I think last night on there, and a little bit this day maybe previously. Of course, we wet down the sidewalk and the brick and everything also so that the bleach mixture, sodium hypochlorite, don't call it bleach because that's not professional, but we mix it up and we wet everything first so that it helps to spread the sodium hypochlorite evenly across the surface. Now we are using a pump sprayer. I am trying to cover everything thoroughly, but again, even if you miss a tiny little spot, if the surface is wet, liquid being what it does, it just blends and goes across each other and blends up. So that helps to hit everything well. I have treated stuff dry before and I just don't get the same results. Once you apply this to the concrete or brick, I like to give about a 20-minute dwell time on brick. And on a sidewalk or driveway, I like to give about a 20-minute to 40-minute dwell time, just depending. And that's with a 5% mix of sodium hypochlorite and water. So again, we'll talk about batch mixing a little bit later on, but I want you guys to get the idea. Now on this, if I dwell this and dwell means to let it sit. If I let this sit on here for 20 minutes on this brick and I come back, I can use a regular garden hose and wash it off with the house pressure from the garden hose. That is called soft washing. You would do this with siding because you don't want to use a pressure washer. Ideally, there are people that say you can do it, and there are people that do it with like a J-rod or an X-Jet and downstream, and I got it. Yeah. That's not what we're doing here. I pressure wash not wood. I pressure wash brick. I've done a monument or two, a little stone statue here and there, and driveways. That's the only time I bust the pressure washer out, unless I'm soft washing a house and I can't reach a hard spot as far as the house water pressure is concerned. I know I'll be able to treat it with my soft wash system and get the bleach up to the area of the house, maybe in the eaves. But if I can't get water up there to get a good rinse, a pressure washer with a ball valve is good because you can use that ball valve from down on the ground and shoot water way up in the air without hurting the house, but it will give you a good rinse. So that's soft washing. You would do this with a 1% sodium hypochlorite. I like to use 1 to 2% sodium hypochlorite on siding. So like if you wanted to wash a trailer and go out and make you $150, you would literally use a pump up sprayer like this would be the easiest, cheapest way to get started. You could do that with a 1 to 2% bleach, sodium hypochlorite mixture in your pump up sprayer and go around and spray the siding. Start at the top, go to the bottom. Some people will tell you to do it the other way on soft washing. It doesn't matter to me. I just coat the surface with the sodium hypochlorite and I give it a little dwell time. Now you wouldn't dwell it for 20 minutes on some siding. You would probably dwell it for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and you'll be able to notice, you can actually watch it change the color. So if you've got green algae on the side of a vinyl siding house or trailer, that you can see that come off in front of your eyes. Now you still want to rinse all the bleach off, and the extra pressure does help to add it. Never shoot from down below the siding. So when you're rinsing it, you want to rinse it gently-ish, and you want to be rinsing so that the water hits the siding like it would if it was rain. Downward would be best, but if you can get like a kind of a straight across kind of thing, that's a good thing. If you're shooting up high, you just do it from a little further away so that it kind of gradually hits and comes down the side of the house. You don't want to get water under the siding, which is why I don't recommend pressure washing it. Again, there are ways to apply water with a pressure washer through a lower pressure using a downstreaming method. That's not what I do. I like to do this. It's just much easier. I can make better use of my time. I don't have to use any gasoline, crank up any pressure washers. Soft washing is the shit if you want an easy way to make money. I've used this little pump up sprayer before to soft wash the side of an entire house, all 4 sides actually, but that was a $400 job. And I did it with this pump up sprayer and a few gallons of sodium hypochlorite that I bought at Walmart in the pool section. If you get the 10% Pool Essentials brand or whatever brand you want, it's 10%. It's easy to cut 10% down into a 1 to 2% mix. Very, very easy to calculate that. But this pump up sprayer and a garden hose has made me $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 just soft washing with no other extra equipment. Now I do have a soft washing tank system that I use, and I just got a new one with a bigger tank and put my old pump on it. And that's going to be good too. But this here, a $15 pump up sprayer and $50 worth of bleach and a garden hose and nozzle that I already had at the time. I did a $400, I think it was $415 for that house wash job. And that was one job. And I did it in about 3 hours, just taking my time, walking around the house every 10 minutes, stopping, spraying the SH and then rinsing it off with water where I had already sprayed after. Let it sit for 10 minutes, rinse it off, move to the next section, move to the next section, move to the next section. Now with my system that I have now, it's not like the handheld system. It's a 12-volt pump system, and I'll show it to you guys in a later video where I explain it to you and how it works. But same thing, we're applying the sodium hypochlorite to the outside of the house, whether it's hardy board, whatever. You want to use about a 1 to 2% mix, no hotter, no more bleach than that, or you can do damage. So you want to cover up any outlets that you see, anything electrical. Don't let it get on there. Sodium hypochlorite is very salty and it conducts electricity way better than water does. So trust me, you shoot some regular water around an outlet, a GUFI, whatever, might be no problem. If sodium hypochlorite hits it and that salt and that water cook instantly, you're going to have a bad day. So keep that in mind, guys. Again, just you look for these things, you're careful around it, you try not to spray their cameras as much as possible. If you get any of your, I always like to shoot the windows, gently, of course, but if you get some sodium hypochlorite on the windows, it really brightens them up, which makes the customer feel like they've gotten a really good value out of their house wash. So I make sure to hit all the surfaces, with the sodium hypochlorite mix. That way there's no black lines anywhere, ideally. Now you might have some tiger striping on gutters, but that's actually not a living organism, which is what we're killing, is living organisms. The tiger stripes on the gutter is actually oxidation. And you might see oxidation on siding also if it's very old. The cheap, easy way to do that is to tell you to look up LA Awesome. Totally LA Awesome. I think you can buy it at like some Dollar Trees and some other places. It does a bang-up job on oxidation. We'll talk about the mix ratio for that in a different video when we discuss oxidation. This is the introduction to soft washing video, so we're not there yet, believe me, guys. My partner and I, my business partner and I here are applying a 5% mix to the sidewalk and driveway. That 5% mix is going to make... So this black stuff here is Glioxapsomagma, the bacteria I was telling you about. That sodium hypochlorite mix will knock this out and take care of it. Now you'll still need to remove the residuals from the surface with a pressure washer. You can lighten it up and just rinse it off and it'll look nice. Like it'll look way better than it did before. But if you really want it to be white and really pop, you got to pressure wash the rest of the junk off of the driveway once you kill it. It will come off much easier once it's killed. If you try to pressure wash something like this without first treating it with sodium hypochlorite or something to kill the living stuff, well, you're going to have a bad time unless you have a professional commercial grade pressure washer that's like 4 gallons a minute, 4,000 PSI, and a nice, surface cleaner. Otherwise, you're going to have a really hard time. So, yeah, that's it, man. That's the introduction to soft washing video. I hope this helps you guys. I hope it kind of spreads some light on this. I've been talking about it a lot. I know a lot of guys on my other channel have been asking, how can you, make a little bit of money and work 4, 5, 6 hours a day. Now I work a lot of hours because when I'm not doing this kind of stuff, I'm doing YouTube and YouTube videos and 5, 6 channels and trying to get everything going. But when I'm working and I need to make $500 in a day, this is what I do. When I'm working and I need to make $200 in a day, or when I want to make $200 every day, I do jobs like this for homeowners. And they love it, and it looks fantastic. And I do it professionally. I don't show up smelling like cigarette smoke or alcohol or anything crazy. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm CEO of One. If you enjoy these types of videos and want to learn more about starting your own small business to make yourself some real money and quit working for the companies that are paying you, not a lot at all hourly, and you'd rather make $50 to $100, maybe $200 an hour, go ahead and hit like, comment, and subscribe. I'll show you how to do it, guys. We'll see you next time.